MaJaMa. MaJaMa. MaJaMa.
Welcome back, everyone, to MaJaMa Jams, a show where we discuss other people's work to avoid doing our own. Now, today we are getting into a movie that bears my namesake, one that I have begged for quite a while, coming from the holy land of 2002, whatever the hell that means. It is Jason X.
So J-Songs.
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 J-Songs. So,
the French.
J-Songs.
J-Songs.
J-Songs, written by Todd Farmer and starring the immortal Kane Hodder.
Ted, Ted, réponds-moi, mon Dieu! Où est-ce que tu l'as fourré?
This was kicking around in my brain for a while. I was a virgin to it. The other two have seen it. I was practically begging for a while to watch this. It seemed like a juicy little piece of crap. I've heard some of the background story. And it has a lot of potential, but I guess ultimately disappointed. However, I do think it's going to make for a stellar jam session. My brother here has got the mask on. Mateo's got a shirt that he bought the year he saw this movie. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the 10th installment in the iconic Jason Voorhees franchise, Jason X. Mateo, as usual, you caught this in the moving theater.
Yes.
But if my timeline doth remember this correctly, you were in Italy.
No.
No.
You were an idiot.
I moved here in 96.
Why did I think 2006? Jesus.
That's when we moved here, you idiot.
That's actually not right either, but close enough. Yes. You know what? It's the 6. I had 2006 in my head. If I remember 96, for some reason my dumbass went to the 6. Okay, so yes.
So this was 96.
This was 99. This was 2002.
This was shot in the year 2000, then postponed 4 times apparently.
Because
and
of COVID?
then, I'm sorry?
COVID?
Yes, 20 years before,
pre-COVID.
yes. Just, I guess...
We're watching this as it
editing.
turns 20.
Yeah.
You did say this was delayed a bunch of times.
Yeah.
He just said it.
It might have been shot...
In 2000.
Right. All of this was just said. It's just a joke.
Is this on?
It is just a joke.
Yes, and a funny one too.
To make people laugh.
That's not funny. That's not funny at all.
So, this is what we're going to do. We're finally going to stick to our guns about making a joke of the synopsis. The synopsis here, guys, is this Jason in space. Any single person watching this understands what a Jason Voorhees movie is. They put him into space, and then it goes and starts up the Jason Voorhees machine. We don't need to do it. We'll get into the individual things as we discuss it. First thing.
Let's go through our character list first.
I'm going to say first thing right off the bat. Because I remember Mateo, I've heard a bunch of stuff about this, and I would like to say, if you are a movie nerd fan, you like behind-the-scenes stuff, if you're a horror geek, there's a really kick-ass interview with Todd Farmer, the screenwriter of this. I thought it was an amazing read, especially as someone who's, struggled in the business a little bit themselves.
A little bit.
Struggled more than had any real success.
Struggling.
Great interview with Todd. I'm going to bring up an anecdote from that a little later. But I remember Mateo told me...
That's something to stick around for.
Mateo told me that probably one of the biggest problems with this was the line,
Oh, this sucks on so many levels!
and you said, I don't know if in, what was it,
24:55.
I'm pretty sure 24:55 they would still be saying sucks.
Not only, it sucks on so many levels.
Gotcha.
I just saved your ass.
He's screwed.
There are a lot of
I mean, these are all
colloquialisms.
timeless sayings.
Well, the reason I start off
They
with
transcend.
Mateo's comment is because the thing I want to address right off the bat, never before and I mean this honestly, never before have I seen such puzzling wardrobe choices. Genuinely, what the fuck was the wardrobe department thinking?
Everyone's wearing bathroom rugs cut up and taped together.
Now, it is appropriately of 2002 when the movie was shot.
Not the material.
But what the fuck was the decision to have space students in 2455 be wearing fuzzy bath mat looking crop
They're
tops?
called students.
And little friggin', the one girl has like a friggin' go-go outfit, and then the guy with the raver t-shirt. The one that they get all happy because the girl says go off.
That protects him from the G-force hypothermia of space.
The Gucci force.
Dude, the costume choices are genuinely puzzling.
Clearly,
I think the weirdest one is the blue sweater vest with the fur ring and then the pink ring of...
And the nail the
That's
necklace.
some 2000 shit.
Well, here...
Clearly you haven't seen the movie The Apple, which takes place in the future. And that's also...
Isn't that in the 70s?
No. Oh. It takes place in the future. And the wardrobe choice of the future in that movie... Yeah.
Is it robes?
I wish. It just takes something so ridiculous that it's...
Are they dressed as giant apples?
No, unfortunately no.
I do think this is a tragedy because I think this is a home run idea.
I mean, it's Jason X.
I feel like I was always excited about watching this, and I always knew that it would probably have a lot of problems, shall we say.
Yeah. Whatever.
And yet I was always excited to see what Jason X was actually like. I was surprised I hadn't seen it. Do you remember where you saw it with? With the girls maybe? With friends? And no? Just randomly saw it?
TV.
Okay.
Oh.
I think there is a lot of potential here, and I think this could have, even if it was a so bad it's good, then this really could have been something. We get little glimpses of it. There is a tone to this movie which I actually did think was perfect. And in about the first 20 minutes, I thought no matter what problems this movie throws at me, they really hit the nail on the head for Jason in Space. And then I found myself viciously bored as we started to get to around the third act. And we will get into our character list, but even though it's completely...
I was just being sarcastic. I don't think we
can
pick one apart from the other.
Even though it's completely par for the course for slashers and Friday the 13th in particular to have forgettable characters, I also don't think I've ever seen such an entirely forgettable roster. Yeah. Again, not even trying to hate or pick it apart for the sake of the show. I just, across the board, we don't spend time with anybody. We don't get to know or attach to anybody. Everyone's kind of cookie cutter. And the god himself, Kane Hodder, probably has the most screen presence, is the biggest friggin' name, and gives the most verve to the proceedings.
Yes.
What the hell is that?
First of all, as memory serves, is the only Jason movie that is completely devoid of any tension whatsoever. There is not a moment of...
gotta hide from him, he's sneaking around with the axe, we're worried.
It's more, with all the differences, but clearly it's more similar to Aliens than to Alien. Alien is a sci-fi horror.
Oh, God, it's moving right towards you.
Move! Get out of there!
Moving towards you, move! Down! Move down! Move down! Get out! Oh. No, not that way! The other way, God!
Aliens is a sci-fi action movie.
Mm-hmm.
5 meters, man. 4. What the hell? Oh my God. Oh shit. Give me the light.
This one looks like more an action movie than actually a horror per se. Not that is anything that is bad. Of course, is an interesting exploration. No, it's not an interesting exploration.
Well, no. I'm. This is going to be my through line throughout this. Is I think we have a huge missed opportunity, and I think we have to give credit to the. there's parts that make you see what it could have been, and even if those fail, like let me highlight my favorite kill.
Please do.
Or actually my two favorite ones. Then you guys can help me if I'm misremembering something. I think right off the bat when Voorhees comes back, he takes the girl's head, shoves it into the cryogenic freezer thing. That's exactly what I want from this movie. In those 30 seconds it took to do that kill, you guys are firing 10 out of 10 full cylinders. This is what I expect from Jason X. And I remembered rumblings about the sleeping bag death. I thought I was confusing it with the opening to 2009's Michael Bay produced remake.
There's also Sleeping Bag Death.
There was also Sleeping Bag Death in that? Okay,
which
so...
is better. And there's also Sleeping
what
Bag...
was the one in the 2009? I did like whacking the one girl with the other in the sleeping bag, and then the thing against the tree.
Can I loop? I did like whacking.
I did like whacking. I did like whacking. I did like whacking. I did like whacking. I did like whacking. Wouldn't be a lie.
What's the one where he's whacking her in the sleeping bag against the tree?
Let me highlight some of the stuff where, whether connected or not, I think this movie could have been the stuff of B-movie dreams. We have David Cronenberg kicking off the movie as our executive.
What are you doing here?
I'm taking the specimen.
Well, you can't. I haven't prepped the cryostasis chamber.
I don't want him frozen, Rowan. I want him soft.
Who wants to keep Jason for himself for scientific research.
Yeah,
and while
scientific research.
While he doesn't exactly pop, it's like, okay, you get Cronenberg.
He doesn't get the pop?
Cronenberg
Jeez,
to play the director that wants Jason up. That could be a friggin' great nod.
Because he's the director?
Just Cronenberg in this movie, in that role.
Well, he supposedly he was the mentor of the director of the movie.
This isn't open for discussion.
And he was an actual director himself.
Yes.
Was he? Cronenberg directed some stuff?
Some stuff.
Yes.
Then we have, like I said, the first death. We have Jason coming back to life and fighting off the people in the, when the girl gets stabbed through the thing and then cryogenically freezes.
Yeah,
You're going to have to be more specific. I keep thinking you're talking about yourself in third person.
Give or take is the prologue of the movie. It takes place in present day time.
2008.
Ish. Yes? Is it 2008?
I think they say 2008.
Okay.
Quadport 11. Manufactured in 2010. Precise historic records are inconsistent. 2010, 2010, 2010, 2010, 2010.
And then going back to our sleeping bag scene, you have, we need to distract Jason. We have this spaceship. Why don't we put him in a VR simulation of Camp Crystal Lake? So this simulation is fake. He gets to see two classic, scantily clad campers.
Hey, you want a beer?
Or do you want to smoke some pot?
Or we can have premarital sex.
We love premarital sex.
We love premarital sex. Come on. That is great. You guys dropped the ball. That is the type of thing where it's like, put Jason in VR Crystal Lake and have the girls be a parody of what all these dumbass disposable characters are like, and then he kills them. This is fucking great stuff. The X-Men Danger Room, but it's the training, and we get 2002 CGI like creatures, and then Jason comes and kills them.
Pause play. I said pause play.
He's not pausing.
Yeah, no kidding. I think we need to reboot. That does not count as a kill.
Yes, it does.
There's little thing, even the fact of how in the beginning everyone's hooking up, I was like, okay, it's Cornball and Force, but it's Friday the 13th in space, so all the space kids are hooking up. I feel like...
Why keep calling them space kids? They're just kids.
Well,
they happen to be in space.
I love that...
We're not Earth kids.
The kid, Dave, is the alien boss.
Would you like some space coffee? Some space tea, perhaps? I think we've run out of space sugar, but Betty could hop in the shuttle and get us some at the space store.
No, I'm fine, thanks. I'm fine.
I believe, I don't think you guys do, but I believe that is the DNA of an absolute home run knockout, and it makes it all the more frustrating that they dropped the ball and that I did get bored. I think there are strands here that show B-movie Nirvana.
You think
genuinely.
someone dropped their balls?
I think
and
someone
DNA on this DVD.
Dropped their balls, spewed DNA all over this.
Mateo? This is your DVD.
It was hard to open it.
Do
you guys agree, or do you think it's just an
If they're more self-aware and if they made it nowadays, it'll still be a piece of shit, but it might be...
No, I
it'll
think
still be a piece of shit.
Even some of the
I mean, you put this
miniatures, right? Like some of the miniatures of the ship is in the opening 20 minutes, or I was like, this is the right tone, this is the right look. Even the line deliveries.
Can someone tell me what's on his face?
Some kind of 20th century carbon filtration unit?
It's a hockey mask.
I think Leprechaun in Space works better because...
Another one I've never seen.
That's the fourth one, so it was Hellraiser 4 in space.
Where are you, Toymaker?
Here. Hologram. You see, it's all done with mirrors. Like this.
What have you done?
And there is even
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
I actually never seen one Hellraiser.
And there is really.
Yeah.
Me neither. We've talked about
Very
this,
good. And there is even a cartoon called Pinocchio in Space.
Why?
Hey, partner, that'll teach those Martians to mess around with us turtles.
Well, I'm not a turtle.
No, but Pinocchio, you could be.
I swear I have no idea.
Josie and the Pussycats went to space in season 3.
Yes.
For some...
Yeah.
Josie in outer space. Pussycats are all in place.
I guess everyone's eventually got to go to space.
This is kind of a weird...
And Critters 4 takes place mostly in space than on Earth.
I guess that one makes sense.
Yeah.
My mind jumped to the first Piranha remake by Alexandre Aja, which I know isn't exactly this level of absurdity, but it's still not exactly serious. So I'm thinking here of something like Piranha and that scene we've talked about on the show before where they're just going at a feeding frenzy. All the people are in the water. I don't know. I feel like there really is something in here where Jason X should be a grail of B-movie joy. They really should not have been this boring towards the end. The character, it should not have been a slog.
I don't think at 2002 they were.
I don't think they weren't self-aware enough. It was just another entry in the machine.
I mean, they tried to be self-aware, but they were still trying to make a straight movie, I think.
Well, it's not even that. I'm not asking for them to be 21 Jump Street with it.
How does he function with a brain that small?
It's just that. Well, you know, when we put on the behind-the-scenes not the commentary, but the featurette afterwards, and I found it very interesting and a great topic for the show, because the spirit of the show was, of course, any movie is so much work to make. A movie you thought was a low-budget, unwatchable piece of shit was so much work to make. And yet, finishing watching Jason X, then you see everybody on the thing like, yeah, man, this is a dynamite idea, and they just came to me, I thought this, and it's like nothing you've never seen before, and it's scary, and Jason's got this, and we've got these digital shots, and what we really want to do is create the environment with these digital colors, and like they're just talking about it so passionately, like it's this fucking piece of art, and it's kind of like, it brought me back to that thing of I wanted to be like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? This is a piece of crap.
You serious?
It's a jarring effect when the whole point of this show was to know that, of how much work it takes to make Jason X, and yet every time a movie's a piece of shit and you hear them talk like that, it's like, what are you guys talking about? Almost unlike some knee-jerk reaction, like, why are you talking about this like you actually, it's a boring piece of crap.
Don't take your eyes off him. I'm on my way.
Take your time, Sarge. You ain't going nowhere.
And I am going home.
Whoa!
Oh, shit, I got company here, people!
Why are you talking about the color palettes and like what an exciting story and how it's terrifying?
Well, there's also a major studio behind it that's paying you and also interviewing you.
Yes.
Yes.
And also there is a concrete possibility, which is not the first time. It wouldn't be the first time that something like this happens, that what you're shooting is actually genuinely scary. And then in post-production, for some ill-advised suggestions from the studios or something, it becomes horrible. One of the most notorious example from a movie that is, to be generous, is calling it dreadful, is The White Buffalo, which they managed to have the buffalo galloping for the almost 300 feet of the Pinewood studio on a track, and it was so scary to see it from a distance coming to us. And they did one unbroken take, and then you watch the movie and keep on cutting on the face of Charles Bronson and the face of.
Your snake's dead! Put him down! Shoot! Shoot!
And you destroyed the tension of something like
Wait,
this.
they put a real buffalo on a treadmill?
No, it was somebody whose name escapes me now. There's a guy who's pretty good at building stuff.
Do we know?
Probably.
Bob the Builder.
No.
Right?
He's done stuff.
No. I think it was Italian.
Mario Bava?
No, that's the director.
Getting closer.
Yes, and Lamberto Bava is his son.
Bruno Mattei?
No.
That's what it...
Nope.
Silvio Berlusconi?
That's my former boss, and no. Whatever, if it comes to mind, we'll... Yes. So he built the buffalo, and it was what?
What didn't this dude build?
Seriously.
What the fuck didn't he build? Every single time for the past 15 years of friendship, you tell me, hey, guess who built this? Guess who assembled my computer? Guess how these IKEA shelves got assembled? Carlo fucking Rambaldi waltzed in here on an off day and said, hey, I got nothing to do. You want these E.T. making hands to craft your shelves? You fucking movie-obsessed motherfucker? And Matteo said, sure thing, Carlo, go have at it.
I don't know how to speak English.
He apparently didn't work too hard on his marriage.
It ended?
Did he?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think he was happily married, and his son.
Well, things always look different from the outside.
Oh yeah, true.
That's true.
Yeah, but I remember when I met him, he was in front of this gigantic painting of a lunar landscape. I said, yeah, I'm just doing stuff like this. I said, doing stuff. It was a masterpiece. And I just say, yeah, sure, whatever.
It's not all right that some people get to live interesting lives.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
But there are a lot of movies where either for this one, I think it's rated R. Yeah, because there are the two naked women.
Has it Jason never not been?
R. Yes, but
and the magnet nipples.
I'm sorry.
The magnet nipples.
What do you think?
Hmm?
Do you like them?
They're fine.
Again,
Yes.
threads of a guy creates a cyborg robot for both intelligence and pleasure. She gets insecure about her lack of humanity. Other girls have them, so he's screwing on the nipples. They're falling off.
I was like, makes the breast that small? Come on.
Matthew, once again, that's meant to be comedic but very insightful. A guy wanting to make a love robot probably wouldn't give her normal-sized titties.
Maybe he's into smaller.
I wouldn't think about that kind of thing, though.
We know.
Because of the homosexuality.
But I think, again, that scene, I would see that and be like, oh, I like where we're going here. It's nipples falling off, a guy's... But we don't follow them.
I can see the producer with the cigar say, what is it? Oh yeah, I like that. Nipple falling off. Yes, that's good. That's a good idea.
When you said that, I pictured the dude from the end of Wayne's World with the ponytail and the big cigar. Ah, nipples falling off. I'm happy where my cash is going here, baby.
I have an idea. Instead of one falling off, make them both falling off.
I want to hear those babies clink on the ground.
Like dice clacking. Like dice clacking and clacking.
Seems sensible.
We don't spend enough time with them.
Who?
When...
The titties?
The cyborg titties. When that couple, she gets her head blown off, and then she's got a new thing attached. Like, we don't spend time with anybody here. And I know this is not new for Friday the 13th, but am I wrong that it feels like never before has less time been spent with characters? So you get a sense of who no one is.
Mostly,
who no one is.
If you go to the length to go to space and to give them a starship and to give them a school fleet or something like that, because they look like students and the teacher and a classroom, at least to try to. I mean, the only other character that I did remember, because I watched it once when I bought the DVD, and that this is the third time that I saw it. I saw it from the theater. The only other character that I did remember, it was the android.
Yeah.
So what do you think? We gonna make it?
Well, the statistical probability of survival is 12%.
12%? Can't you come up with better odds than that?
Nope.
Bullshit, KM! That's bullshit!
She is the only one who's given some sort of a personality. She's doing...
Has a couple Schwarzenegger-type lines.
Yes, and she's doing a good job in making this... she's always happy or giddy, and so it kind of works. But all the other characters... I mean, when there is the... the commando scene where they go to look for Jason for the first time, and then he disposed them one by one, and he screwed the joke and things like that. Okay.
Wasn't that your partner and team member?
Yeah.
And you're all being murdered, picked off one by one, and you're going to make that joke?
There is absolutely no attachment whatsoever. I mean, you you see those characters just before they get killed, pretty much. much.
Yeah.
You don't have any.
That's also why you need a Freddy or a Leprechaun to make those kind of lines for the characters.
Did Amy Schumer's Snatched have a nice nod to that? And I only asked because I think it was in the trailer where it's like her and Goldie, like something like
that movie was called Snatched.
Yeah, which again is I'd like base level Hollywood language. But wasn't there some type of joke where it was like I feel like they did something like that. The common, like, you just kill, you're not a killer, but you're in the situation, you kill and go on. I could be misremembering this. And my mind just popped into the spy that cheated on me with Kate McKinnon and Mila Kunis.
Oh my God, I killed someone! I killed someone! Stop yelling now!
Yeah. I don't know if I'm juxtaposing it with that, but I could have sworn in the Snatch trailer they made a nice little joke that plays on the fact that so many movies have non-killers kill people in the adventure and then just go on with their lives.
Right.
I could be completely wrong.
For instance, of course, it's not a horror movie. In Die Hard 2.
Still the only one I've seen out of all 5. Or sorry, haven't seen.
There is a scene where the evil guys have this plan to force a plane to crash. They give them the instruction that the landing strip is much higher than what it is or much lower than what it is, and so they arrive at full speed and they crash and they kill 200 people. And but there is one shot before all of that inside the plane.
We're sorry for the inconvenience, but we'll all be on the ground in a few minutes. Thank you.
Please keep your seat. Oh, not to worry. We've made arrangements for your next flight, so you won't miss it. Okay? In your seat, please. Come on, in your seat.
Yes, right, yeah.
Oh, hey. We're just like British Rail, love. We may be late, but we get you there. Don't worry.
We're going to see the campus again.
That moment is enough to connect with all those people on the plane. You are saying, "Oh, she's so cute." Even if I only know her.
It humanizes the best. Yes. It's not just a machine in the sky.
Yes.
There are human beings inside that.
That's why that was one of my biggest criticism of Age of Ultron, I think. That they lift
floating sky.
lift the whole town.
The inevitability. You rise, only to fall. You, Avengers, you are my meteor, my swift and terrible sword, and the earth will crack with the weight of your failure.
And they didn't spend the time to introduce you anybody in that town, so you were saying, all right, we go back to the guy who pulled the molten... and does a wonderful work of art, but kills in the process, kills 300,000 ants, and you don't give a damn about that because you don't know them.
The ants.
The ants. You haven't been, even just like, this is a colony of ants. Look at how laborious, and this is the guy who pours aluminum.
That is...
he probably shouldn't have done that, though.
Probably not.
He doesn't want you to get attached to those ants.
Yeah.
It really does say a lot, though. Like, what was this, a documentary about him doing this?
No,
it's on YouTube.
I mean, either way, it's a documentary and a YouTube video, but it's like...
It's a YouTube
You're murdering things.
What the hell?
Yes.
And it's just, they're not that important, so no one cares.
Yes.
And that's, if this hasn't been said on the show, that's why Godzilla movies are magic. Because Godzilla movies are about something appearing that makes our arrogant asses into that fucking ant. Who gives a fuck? You are now this big. A literal god, it's in his name, is stomping through. But you're just collateral damage.
Yes, but most of the time, whenever there is one of these monsters rampaging. Almost every single time there is one shot of a little boy or a little girl crying, and somebody who is the save the cat moment, just like grabs and once again, with that little thing, it humanizes is not a word, but it makes humidifies the whole crowd. It becomes one entity that can suffer, and so you are, even if you don't know them individually one by one, you have that little moment to connect with all that group of people. Here, instead, it's just like, oh, disposable character. We don't really care about who they are and everything. And granted, it's some sort of, as I told you, a space adventure more than a space horror. Because really, there is not much of a.
Yeah, you think you would go with much darker, more simpler alien type vibe. If you're gonna do Jason in space,
picture Alien with Jason, but like.
But they're making out.
Ridley Scott, Jesus, that Dan O'Bannon. I was thinking of the writer, but like that team if they took on a Jason movie. So not even like I don't know. To me, there is so much potential here, and it's just wasted.
Say again?
There is the economy of the characters. The less character you have, the more you have to create these set pieces of is he or she gonna get away from Jason, or there are just more vignettes like is in Alien. Harry Dean Stanton goes after the cat. So every single one is it has its solo moment, solo performance with or without Jason. Here you have a bunch of you never understand how big or small the ship is.
Yeah.
So you don't know exactly if is it as big as this room or is it 100 times.
Plus, there's nothing. Half of the fucking spaceship is just scaffolding.
Yes.
They're playing this advanced VR game that makes them feel like they're actually able to walk around in the world, but they're sitting on the fucking floor. There wouldn't be high-tech, comfortable. I mean, gamers have chairs nowadays that have fucking cushion on them.
Yes.
And also, how could they see Jason if he wasn't part of the game? Doesn't the game cover everything?
It should. And how Jason interacts with the game.
Yeah, how did he see them?
I don't understand it.
Yes, it does. Okay, screw this, game over.
Like picture Jason enters into the game and he becomes like a digital version like the creatures, and then they start killing him, and like they're like, oh well, our people are getting killed in the game, but then they're like, wait, why are they actually dead? And then I don't know, every scene, even the ones that did nothing, like that scene didn't do much. I appreciated the creatures for what they were with their 20-year-old CGI, but
it's like the first Doom.
Really, it comes down to, it's going to be funny. I haven't circled back to this in a while, but the Asylum movies shooting for something they don't normally achieve. This felt like, again, an Asylum movie done right. It didn't stay with that because I was genuinely bored by the end. But in the beginning, I was like, this is going to be fun trash. There's nothing better than
belly
fun. Fun trash is so fun that what happened is the fun trash permeated everything, and you started calling everything like, oh, it's all fun trash. Everything is so bad it's good, and the thing people don't realize is so bad it's good is as hard to genuinely achieve as genuine greatness is.
Especially when you don't do it intentionally.
Yes.
It has to be genuinely.
Yes. And in fact, it's the Shark Attack 3 versus the Sharknado. Shark Attack 3 was someone who tried to make a movie, and they failed. And it's fucking great.
Yes.
Sharknado is a thing of cynicism to be like, it's pretty bad, huh?
Yep. I think that 9 is 1993. I think so.
Oh, wow, we had a gap.
Yeah. And so they were saying, wait, if we were waiting for Freddy versus Jason to get detangled from all the legal ramification or whatever it is that is blocking it, so let's just say do another.
It's like a decade. I don't think that's like a decade gap. I don't think
Yeah.
I realized that.
And so one of the things that I think I read sometimes, or probably they were saying it in one of the many commentaries, they were saying we do a jump of 400 years so that if we want to then do another Friday the 13th in between,
That's
somehow,
adorable. They were trying to keep
Yes.
this canon or have some
Yes.
sort of consistency between that.
Exactly.
That is adorable.
Which also, it doesn't make any sense because...
But admirable.
But in Freddy's death. In Friday the 13th Part 9, Jason Goes to Hell, he goes to hell. Here he is trapped in chains. There is no explanation between how. I mean, they show that scene that of doctors trying to operate him during the opening credits, but the syringe that goes into his eyes or whatever, and he committed suicide. He can't stand hearing me talking, but it never actually is clear how it moved from going to hell to be here and chained into that.
Well, on that
Maybe
exact
that's why they also said 2008 instead of 2000,
Yes.
instead of present day when this was made. So they got that gap for to allow for Freddy versus Jason.
On that exact note, nothing has ever been more painful than hearing this. One of the ideas being kicked around, the movie would open with Jason in hell, and he was trying to escape hell alongside Gilbert Gottfried.
What?
What an asshole!
And I just, oh my God, I don't care how the rest of the movie was. Could we have dragged that into existence, please? I know you're probably thinking I don't believe
Playing
it.
himself?
I will look up the article. And I was just like, and Atlas wept. I don't understand that reference I just made. It was horrible to know that that could have been a thing we got. The movie could have went any myriad of ways after that.
Definitely.
It would have been like, that is one of the greatest things we've seen. Also, rest in peace, Gilbert. We miss you.
Good night!
As good as it was, the cryo scene, then you see the trap where a lot of these the filmmakers fell into. We have this new thing, CGI, we can use it. The Friday the 13th are nice because they are visceral. They were tangible special effects. He was actually ripping limb, not just like slicing and digital removing stuff. There is also something different from the others because of that. It's less. I don't know.
You used the right word. It loses the visceral nature. It kind of puts a Vaseline smudge in a bad way, where it's just like, oh, it's just I know it's not there.
It's once again going back to one of our favorite topics, but the damages that Art the Clown inflicts onto people. I
was just about to bring up Terrifier.
Oh my God! I did it for you. We both lost voice after doing this. But that is something that you realize, you see that is doing damage. There is something that, as good as CGI is, it cannot replicate, especially the CGI from the early 2000s.
And what's weird is that it's not like anyone watching Terrifier doesn't realize those are effects, and yet when it's practical, like you say, you get to have that visceral reaction whether you know or not. Whereas CGI, it's so much easier to just glaze over and be like, they put that in.
Because you can let the actors being actually violent onto something rather than just like stabbing a tennis ball. Or so. In the making of, they were saying, oh yeah, there is the plate of Jason, and then there is the actor on green screen and the arm on green screen, and so Jason falls down and cuts the arm, and we composited it all the all of that is fine, but it's not the same effect.
Takes away the
than actually.
hands-on.
Yes.
And you know what I was thinking, and the reason I was going to Terrifier, again, all credit to, but what is the point of going to a Jason movie? What is the point of any one of these?
Exactly.
Yeah.
The kills.
Oh.
It wasn't a rhetorical question, but that works. It works that way too. So I've watched so many Friday the 13th where it builds up. Okay, you can hear we're focusing on this guy at the party, on the ship, wherever the fuck. We know he's our latest victim. It builds up. It builds up. And we get like a stab that's like a cutaway, and we move on. And it's like, dude, you realize that this movie is shit, and people are only showing up for that. So this is why I think Terrifier hit like a fucking nuclear goddamn holocaust this October. You go to Terrifier for the kills.
Mm-hmm.
Every kill is a meticulously, lovingly created set piece. There is not one kill where it is not a fucking orchestra. It is not one kill where art doesn't go for it, and you know why people are there, and you bring it on home. So many of these movies I've watched, and it's just like, knife in, cut, next person. Like you said, next disposable person up on the train, up, slices them, move on. It's like, you're not giving the reason these fucking things exist.
I hope they know what they're doing.
I remember in theater clearly the laughter for the sleeping bags gag, because once again it's real, and the other two deaths which resonated with the audience, which is the thing that actually they bother you, is when he grabs the first of the commando and is shot from above, and you hear the neck. And when he gets the younger kid in the video game who... Because those are real. They are... and also they are shot in a way... Because for instance, he smashes some heads against walls more than once. But there are so many cuts, and so it doesn't give you the idea of the impact. It's kind of like if you watch a Hong Kong production of Jackie Chan versus an American production of Jackie Chan. In Hong Kong, there are these long, unbroken takes where you actually have the feeling that, oh my God, they're kicking each other for real. They're hurting each other for real.
That's enough.
Whereas in Hollywood, there's close-up of you, close-up of the woman looking at him, close-up of the fist arriving towards the face. It's all very broken, and it doesn't give you the same energy, if you will.
Hey, I just want to go to Kansas City.
Also, the first Friday the 13th, which were relatively low budget, they were doing that also out of necessity. You don't have time to set up 25 different angle or 25 different camera takes for something. You would just go with one and go, and it you feel it. It's something psychological. You don't expect it. And we go back to the buffalo galloping and from one shot, unbroken shot of seeing this thing coming bigger, to instead keep cutting to reaction shots. It's different. It's another language. I don't say that necessarily is wrong, but it depends on the effect that you want to give. And sometimes you fail because of you have just either you are afraid of doing certain things And so it's kind of like when they do fights where they want to show the actor fighting, and the actors don't know how to fight. And so, again, 25,000 cuts, and they do virtually nothing, and all the stunt people are just like jumping left and right. You see it constantly, and it doesn't give the same energy. I prefer, for instance, as stupid as it was, but the scene where they're beating each other up in the Baylor room in Eric's Revenge. Because they're beating each other. There were two stunt people actually going after each other, rather than having 25 cuts and the actor doing this and the actor doing that, and it's weird.
Oh, poor baby. No wonder you wore this thing.
You ready to get off that boat?
Yeah. Let's go home.
So all the movies are shit. And one day you wake up and you're about to turn 40 and you realize that it's all just a big money grab to just continually hump a fucking dead cash cow.
Yes, also because this is also another interesting thing that I remember thinking about it when I saw this movie. The fact that they're in space, it's absolutely not used whatsoever for the actual purpose of the movie.
Yeah.
It could have been in the facility where they were keeping Jason at the beginning.
Or based on the wardrobe that Jason could have been killing people in a Pacific Sunwear in the middle of a mall circa 2022.
Yeah.
2002.
Do one scene in absence of gravity. That would have been interesting.
Yeah, how the hell did they not do that?
Money, I guess. That's probably...
You know what? I'm sticking by it. I'm not pleased with it, but this is a massive hotbed of wasted potential.
Nothing worked.
The right people, and yes, the right budget. Got to always consider that. I genuinely believe in this B-movie Nirvana, and to Your Honor, Exhibit A.
Also, slim your cast down.
We love premarital
I know
sex.
you want a lot of deaths.
We love premarital sex is a 100% bullseye moment.
Yes.
You take that, like I said, Jason's in fucking space. We have this technology. Let's do a VR Camp Crystal Lake to distract him.
I don't think Jason cared too much about the premarital sex aspect.
No.
It was just the
like
distracted
nod,
nature
yes.
of the camp counselors that were doing drugs and having sex while he was drowning.
We love premarital sex.
It's not like he's mad about them having sex before they were married.
But
like
still, they hit the three characteristics of every single teen in every single Friday the 13th, pretty much.
Like if I'm the producer and they say, hey, show me a clip of what you're doing, and they show me the Camp Crystal Lake VR, I'm like, oh shit, we are on point. Yes, that's exactly it. You're self-mocking them. We still got the hot girls. They're making fun of what the lore is. Jason's in a VR. You know what? Let's. I was gonna say if we're getting a wrap up, but let's talk a little bit about the positive. The man himself, Kane Hodder. For those of you who don't know, even though most people probably do, it's common knowledge. The Jason with the most credits, 4 of them, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Yes.
Funnily enough, as iconic as he is, he kind of gets the lesser beloved ones to a degree, or lesser known. But Kane, as I said, is the physicality is there.
Yes. He is the equivalent of Nick Castle in the first Halloween. What Nick Castle gave to Michael Myers, nobody was able to replicate it. His movement is almost rocking back and forth. The movement of the head, and Kane Hodder is the same. He's this massive presence, but he knows how to use it, and is genuinely menacing when you see him, and so.
And as we talk this out, seeing him in a Super Shredder, nod to the Secret of the Ooze, a jacked up version of him, again, should have been amazing. No fault to Kane himself, but
He didn't design the costume.
Yeah. He is quite literally the star because we get, well, actually no, a little fun tidbit for this type of thing. We did recognize a couple of the faces. One of those like character actors that you recognize and would never know the name of, but our little runt who's in the VR training is actually a pothead in Harold and Kumar, and then funnily enough, the cowboy-hatted captain is also in Harold and Kumar, as I believe we said the patient when they're operating with Ryan Reynolds as the doctor.
Remember he looks and goes, huh?
Yes, that's I thought I visualized. So a little bit of synchronicity there. We had 2 Harold and Kumar alums in this before Harold and Kumar existed.
Now, I know this is a huge shock.
You have it right in that make your art, do your shit, and what you've always had that I've never had is, hey man, you're not going to catch Matthew Ellsworth talking about his opinions. What I do is I write a story, I put it in that. You want to know what Matthew thinks? You watch the story. And then your old brother's like, where's the microphone? Who wants to know what my opinions are? But yeah, I think you have it right, man. Other than your massive misanthropic hatred that makes you not want to get up off the floor, I think you've got it right. You know, do your art, do your shit. Who pays attention is going to pay attention. Speak through the art. Don't hammer them over with a heavy-handed thing.
Well, even my writing's very heavy-handed.
Yeah, but you only do it through the writing. I always wanted to yell at people.
All right.
We know. My neighbors know.
So, are we getting ready for wrap-up, guys?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm getting ready for death.
I'm going to start.
Okay.
I'm very conflicted. I did have a little bit of a blast, and I'm glad it was watched. I'm happy it became a jams. I think what Jason's going to do is 1, 2... We open this boy up.
That's what she said.
We rip him in half.
Jason.
For 2.5 because I can't really decide where my feelings lie between what it was and what it could have been.
I'm torn.
Nothing's right, I'm torn. I am torn.
That piece of paper is torn.
That piece of paper is torn like Natalie Imbruglia and her career post-torn.
Damn.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Cheap
yeah,
shots.
man.
Cheap, obvious shot, and I feel bad about that.
What if he's watching?
But if we don't take cheap, obvious shots and we're not
That would be
trying
nice.
to
One more.
Be no comedy. I'm going to say 2.5 just because I don't know how to split the difference between the massive potential I think they had and the kind of middling final product. So it seems fair to do 2.5 right in the middle of the scale. You guys could have done a lot. But, you know, maybe enough for a night with friends. I should say, I guess I'm happy Jason X in space exists.
You can just stop talking.
It's on you two.
I'll go with 1, 2, 3, 4. It's okay. Friday being one of my favorite horror franchises, it's hard to give this one a better score when there's so many other installments I would put way above this.
Your favorite 6 also?
Yeah.
Yeah, 6 pretty great.
6 found the perfect tone.
I go with 1, 2, 3.5. Well, there's another half. 3.5.
Take this full piece of paper.
Oh, thank you. But this is a whole piece of paper.
Yes.
I have to rip it.
No, like keep it whole.
Okay. But it's still 3.5.
Sure.
I'll rip this one, so. Because it has ideas, sadly, many things. I mean, clearly there's being a conflicted production in terms of delays and everything, so.
Who got laid?
I don't know.
Not us.
No.
It's a lot of sex on that ship.
MaJaMa.
It's okay. I like probably my favorite in order are 1, 4, and 6.
Okay.
4 over 6?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 4 is the Psychic Kid?
No.
Is 4 which one's Feldman?
4 is
4.
Feldman.
Okay.
The 6th one, I love the opening shot.
Oh,
yes.
yes.
No, the opening shot. The
Jason, the Bond parody.
The Bond
It's
parody
so
is beautiful.
So great, and it gives you that little spark that you're
Also, there's the classic.
You're in someone's hands that knows what the franchise is and can take it
Yes.
in a fun.
Yes.
Plus, right in the middle of the franchise, you really found a sweet spot between fun kills, a fun tone.
Yes.
Still 80s, right? Had to be
Yeah.
80s, yeah.
I want to give another nod to the potential here.
I want to put the smallest Lego brick in my mouth.
The scene where, and again, it's a cliche thing that the student wants to get an A, so she's like, Professor, it's time to talk about my midterm.
Ew.
She holds up a bottle of liquor and a big pair of clamps. And
They're called clumps.
I wonder what she's going to do with that, and she's kind of squeezing his nipple while she does it. Now, mind you, I'm not saying this is anything groundbreaking, but you could have gone with the cat and nine tails, the whip, a leather... You could have gone more cliche. What's the big clamp for? I was in...
But they can't show that.
It's just little things like that I'm like, you guys could have been not only better than this, but a real, again, B-movie Nirvana was possible with this. We're going to end on the idea of a nipple clamp being somewhat creative.
No, we're going to end with our classic send-off line from Matthew.
Nipple clamps aren't creative.
That wasn't the send-off line that we had.
People have been clamping nipples for centuries.
Scares me.
Yes.
They're very tender.
Yes.
And as skinny as I look with this shirt on, I actually have solid A cups. Because my disgusting, as you said on one last episode, sloppy body. Which is an accurate way to describe it.
Same.
We're all disgusting physically. So
and
guys,
mentally.
Guys, thank you for sticking around as I popped my Jasonics cherry. Happy I watched it, but disappointed in the results. I think I've seen every Friday now.
I guess none of us really care about what we do happens to our body, you know? We're just gorging and shoving shit in there and not exercising or breathing properly. And
your biggest thing is the
and
sweets.
drugs.
You have an insane sweet tooth. My biggest thing is fucking blunts. Mateo's mainlining Diet Coke. He's got literally 12 packs in there. So, you know, we've all got the body
and food.
Yeah,
and
food.
Sweet.
But but that's I respect the food thing about you. I like that we can bond over eating a lot. Matthew has a real bad sweet tooth. Like, it's really
All right, calm down, man. Jesus,
really
okay?
Bad.
When did this become a personal attack? I was trying to loop us all in, make us all feel terrible.
Yes.
Guys, what do you feel terrible about? Thank you for watching, Paulo.
Yes, thank you for watching, Paulo.
Yes, thank you for watching, Paulo.
And Immortus.
And Immortus.
And Immortus. And we will be back next week with which I'm really excited to get into. We love you guys, and that's a jam!
Freeze frame?
MaJaMa.